Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a new edition of Remixing Politics and Culture with me, your host, Pam. I'm a public relations and marketing professional with a passion for social justice, voter advocacy, and culture. And tonight, we're really going to combine the two things, the politics and the culture, with our discussion. We are first going to delve into the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial and verdict and its impact on our culture and what it means to live in a celebrity-centric society. Then we're going to pivot and we're going to focus on that big, ugly bill that the man who occupies the White House managed to convince his cult legislators to vote against their constituents' best interest. So with us tonight, I have someone that we're all very familiar with, Renee Schalk. I'll bring her up on stage now. Renee is a woman of many, many talents. She is a strong voice in politics in the Democratic Party. She now has moved back from Texas, where she ran for public office. She lives in her hometown of New York City. And while residing in Texas, I did say that she ran for public office. Renee is a graduate of Columbia University. She is a strong health advocate, particularly in Black maternal health. She is a licensed doula. She is a superwoman and supermom of triplet 7-year-olds. So she is a busy woman, and always doing great things in the community and a political activist. Welcome back to the show, Renee.
Thank you for having me, Pam. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Always. And next up, I have a dear friend of mine that has never been on the show before, the Reverend Carl W. Kinney II. Carl is an award-winning journalist, educator, minister, and author based in Durham, North Carolina. Carl is an assistant professor at the University of Chapel Hill's Hussman School of Journalism and Media, where he leads the Durham Voice, which is a community journalism project. A former pastor and social justice advocate, Carl writes on issues of race, faith, and equity, with bylines in the Washington Post, Sojourners, and the News and Observer. Carl is also the author of 4 books and the co-producer of an upcoming documentary, God of the Oppressed. That sounds really good, Carl. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Well, thank you, and good to meet you, Renee.
Yeah. And listen, I think Shauna might join us later. She wasn't feeling really well, and so she was looking for the link to sign on. So if she comes on, we will definitely add her. Okay, we have hello, Dawn Daily Mac. Hey, good to see you. All right. So guys, let's just get right into this. Like I said, we're going to start our conversation with the Diddy trial and verdict. I love pop culture. I guess most people will know that. So I have been following this Diddy debacle since the beginning of the whole thing, way before traditional media followed suit. I followed these vloggers in particular on YouTube. One in particular, Tisa Tells, who has since, because of her coverage, she's been on Nancy Grace, ABC News, Nightline, and the whole bit, because she had done some really good investigative journalism on it. So I had first heard rumblings about this some time ago. And Carl, you wrote something on Facebook, Facebook post that about the Diddy verdict, and because it didn't fully, I personally don't think that the Diddy verdict fully acknowledged his victims and what they had actually gone through. Yeah. And would you mind reading to us?
I'll read it, and if you want me to share the reasoning for writing, I can do that later. But I'll just read this from 4 days ago. Today, I agree with women, and especially Black women, who are brutalized, raped, and treated like toys for the pleasure of men. I rebuke the notion that they deserve mistreatment after overcoming the deep scars that kept them weeping and running in silence. I challenge power structures that force women to play games with a promise to be uplifted. I stand with women who are manipulated into believing there is no other way. This is what people of faith mean when stating we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities in high places. I believe the tears of women weeping in public. I stand against the assumption that sex play is just play. I stand with Bathsheba, who overcame the rape of King David. I stand with Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, who was raped by Shechem. I rebuke Amnon, who raped Tamar, his half-sister. I reject the brutal gang rape of the Levite concubine that sparked a civil war. What Diddy did is not new, but I stand with the prophetic witnesses of yesterday and today, crying woe unto you who abuse women.
All right. That is powerful. And I remember reposting it on my page and getting quite a few people responding to it. Tell us why you wrote it.
Well, Pam, you know my work for a long time. I've done worked as a local column writer and as the curator of Revolution before taking position at UNC in the Department of Journalism. And my grappling over the years has been to the intersection of faith and public space. So whenever I look at an issue, I think of it both in terms of the racial components and also the theological. And so I was extremely bothered by the rhetoric that I was reading on Facebook, especially from men who failed to recognize how the brutal actions that led to the decision to prosecute go deeper than the question of guilt and innocence. There are moral issues, there are ethical issues. Of course, there are legal issues also, but I felt really saddened by what I believe was triggering women. You know, I thought that this scenario, this case, could lead to a deep triggering of women who've encountered misuse of their bodies.
Yeah,
so that's why I wrote it. Is just to make a statement that in this moment where I can hear the tears of weeping women, I wanted to stand in advocacy and support for women who are being triggered. So that's why I did it.
All right. And Renee, you have any comments about the trial? And I think you may have read what Carl has written as well. Unmute yourself.
Thank you, Carl, for that. That was very powerful. And I needed to see more men, particularly Black men, stand up for the women in this trial. I have had several conversations with quite educated Black men, family members, and I even had one of my family members call the women there whores. And I thought to myself, well, I mean, the RICO RICO is kind of a difficult concept to understand. And what I think a lot of the jurors didn't understand, that those 4 charges were all attached to what is considered RICO. And so if you found him guilty on at least one of those charges, he had to be found guilty on RICO, because that's what RICO is. It's trafficking people, taking people over state lines for prostitution, whether you pimping them or they're deciding to go on their own. And I think that it was such a complex concept for people to grab that they didn't understand that, you know, you had to find him not guilty on all 4 charges to find him not guilty on the RICO charge. And I think that's what people didn't get. And so they couldn't argue with the fact that he took her over state lines and he, you know, and for prostitution, because he admitted that. His lawyers and all of that admitted that. But what they weren't understanding is admitting that is also saying that this should be a RICO charge. And so I felt some kind of way about how I didn't blame the jurors. I didn't feel that kind of way. I felt bad about my conversations afterwards with people of color particularly men, that just denigrated these women. Well, she agreed to it. She texted him and said, I want to participate. But what they don't understand is what it's like to be a woman in this society who has to navigate the system and be beat down and feel like, in order to save my life, I may have to do some things. I have to pretend like I really like this. I'm going to fall into play to survive. And if you saw that beating that she took, that was caught on video, do you think that was the only time and the first time he ever beat her like that?
No.
Absolutely not. You imagine what he did behind closed doors after that video was over and he dragged her back into the room.
Right.
I've been a victim of violence, so I understand the trauma of what it's like to just give up yourself because you want to live, not in that moment. So you might do some things and say some things. So and I don't think men get it. They don't understand that because they picture themselves that I would never do that. But you've never been in a female space where your livelihood, your children, your finances, everything depends on a particular man. So that's what I got to say. Thank you, Carl, for that, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, listen, Shauna has made it to the room. Shauna, I'm so glad that you're feeling well enough to come.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
Introduce you. This is Shauna Briley. She's has 30 years working with the DoD in IT and cybersecurity. So you guys can see we always have a real interesting mix of people with various talents. And she's earned multiple cybersecurity certifications and what have you. And she holds multiple awards for her work and technical documentation, and she is a U.S. Army veteran and currently developing a program that will teach cybersecurity skills to homeless minorities. So we are so glad to have you here, Shauna. And I'm just going to let you dive right into, you may have heard Carl read his piece that he wrote, and I did post it on my Facebook page, that he wrote about the Diddy situation and about women. What are your commentary about the trial and the verdict, Shauna?
I didn't hear that part, but I did hear what Renee said, but I did read what you emailed that Carl said. I was very, that resonated very well with me, Carl. It really did. The misogyny aspect of this is absolutely astounding, especially from the Black community. I find myself having to get off of social media in order to take a mental break from it.
Yes.
Because I'm flabbergasted. How in the world do we not understand domestic violence? She still is a domestic violence victim. It's the exact same. Just because they weren't married, to me, she still couldn't get out of it. That is a powerful man. He holds it. Even to this day, she's afraid for him to get out of jail because he has that kind of power to ruin her life or even to take her life in some type of way, because we all can, we all have our conspiracy theories about what happened to Kim Porter, those other rappers, things like that, like Biggie. Let's not even get into that, So let's not pretend. And then you have the celebrities that are jumping on board saying, hey, Cassie, we don't feel sorry for you. And I was like, what? Like, how in the world do you not feel something for this girl? Because to me, she still looks like a little girl. You can see the little girl in Cassie Steele that fears this man. And it is a huge disservice, and it's disappointing. And for the Black community to not come behind her and stand behind her and just say, hey, at least give her some type of words of encouragement is beyond even the women.
Right.
Even the women, how disappointing for the women to not stand up and say, wow, guys, like, but you know what? It's becoming it's becoming a norm, for us to not stand together. And it's like I said, I have to take a break from it. And Pam, I know you do sometimes too. Take a mental break from how we deal with the world now. You know, there are people who are disconnecting. If you look at how our people, or people in general, not just African American community, view violence, and just accepting of it. Well, she deserved it. She could have walked away. You know,
Right.
we have an excuse for everything.
Right.
I could go on, but I'm going to cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
There- there's a part of this for me that plays like is victimized by the tools of white supremacy.
Mhm.
It feels like what the master used to do to the black woman. It feels like the black man who has access to power and money can treat a woman like property.
Mhm.
And it feels like an endorsement of that kind of power structure. And for me, I think the thing that troubles me the most, or one of the things that troubles me the most, is that we fall into that. We fall into accepting that if you're a billionaire or a multimillionaire, you have the right to treat a woman like the property and to use her body as a toy. And to me, to hear black men affirm that is this co-signing on the historical contribution of white supremacy.
absolutely.
And that bothers me.
I'm sorry.
No,
Carl, can I piggyback on that? That
Please
is exactly some of the excuse that I got from people was like, well, she got paid in the civil suit, so why does she need to send him to jail? Or that, she got paid. It wasn't like she could have left, but she stayed because of the money. I'm going to tell you, it don't matter if the person is rich, poor, whatever. If you are feeling like you're trapped, if you feel like your life is in jeopardy, it don't matter how much money the person has. You're going to do whatever you can to save your life. And other people don't understand that. He sent, apparently, even some of these big, strong guys were afraid of Diddy, that he would send people after them and kill them. So why wouldn't she be afraid? I mean, you're okay with that? They said they were afraid, but she can't be afraid enough to not want to leave or to go somewhere. Also, the other thing that I heard, which I did not know, he extorted her family for $20,000
he did.
so that, and she did that because he threatened to expose her for having all those orgies or whatever he wants, freak outs or freak on or whatever.
I think I heard something about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, $20,000 for a family that's middle class. That's a lot of money, and you're a millionaire. Why would you do that? So it was a lot of that going on.
They took out an equity loan to pay that, and then he did give the mom the money back because she testified. That's why I don't understand why they did not get. I can, to be honest, understand why they didn't get the full RICO charge, only because it's such a high bar to without a shadow of a doubt. But for some of those other charges, all you had to have was one time where the woman or man or whomever it was said, no, I don't want to do this. I refuse to do this. I don't want to do this. And then they felt that they had to do it anyway, just one time. And they had those examples over and over and over again with Cassie and with the other young lady. And one of the problems with I feel, to me, when I look hindsight, looking at it, I did not know that the prosecution's staff was all white females. I didn't know that. But I really think that was to their disadvantage by not having any men on their team. Okay, because there were 8 male jurors on that case. Men and women look at these things very differently. Very differently.
They absolutely do.
We're not the same. And it wasn't a mix. They were all Caucasian women. Why didn't you have a sister or two or somebody up in that mix? You really and truly diversity, and this is another crowning point for diversity. Diversity matters. The defense team had a diverse team. And I think it matters in how they dealt with the people that, with the jurors and stuff.
Well, we had a warning shortly before the verdict came down that the jury sent a letter to the judge indicating that there was one of the members of the jury who refused to follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So they only needed one person.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got a real clear sense that there was some trouble in interpreting the law. The letter of law was not properly being followed by members of the jury. So it's a complicated case. People brought a lot of their own biases to the trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see a roll call of who voted for what and why.
Mm-hmm.
But, we knew. I felt that once the letter went to the judge, they were hung because one jury refused to follow the rules that were passed down from the judge. At that point, I pretty much knew there was going to be a bad ruling.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that they really, I just think that we really didn't. They rushed it. I felt it was very rushed because it was at the holiday. And I don't understand.
No time at all. Mm-hmm.
And why wasn't the jury sequestered? They should have been sequestered. I don't care. They should have been sequestered. It's too big of a trial. It's too much with social media now. It's just too much. They should have been sequestered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to say, don't they usually survey the jury after it's over? They usually do they usually go and interview them and get their assessment of what happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's after the verdict, the sentencing, I'm sorry, if it's after the sentencing or after the verdict. But I think they usually go and talk to the jurors to see if they want to talk to whoever, the lawyers or whatever, and find out what their thoughts were and what they think happened in the trial. So we might get some backdoor stuff later.
I think you will, because we still have a guilty charge.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to have the judge is going to rule. My suspicion is the judge is going to pass down the maximum available.
That's what I
under that the ruling.
Right. They're predicting somewhere near 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, something to that extent.
Yeah, and I've read
it's more like 5.
I've heard 5.
Is it 5? Oh, okay.
I think it's more like 5 they're going to go for.
I think they're going to
You
go.
You think they're going to give him the full 5 though, or
well,
that even if they give him 5, will he serve
10.
the full 5?
Well,
the full is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the fact that the judge wouldn't give him bail,
right,
and the reasoning for that decision being that he's violent. I was sensing the fear of retaliation from the judge.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this judge is going to come down pretty heavy.
I do too. And Zach asked the question, why wasn't he charged with domestic violence?
Because that would have been a state charge, and it was in the limitation had run out for state charges, so they couldn't charge him with domestic violence. And that was also some of the arguments I was hearing from some of the brothers. That was domestic violence. That wasn't RICO. Yeah. But my thing is, but unfortunately for Fed charges, that's not you can't charge domestic violence. So the only way they could go after him was the RICO charge, and the fact that he was taking her and other people over state lines for supposedly sexual acts or whatever against their will. So that's what they had, and that's what they went with. I think you're right. I think they should have had a more diverse team. I think they could have connected RICO with the other 4 charges a little bit better so people understood. I mean, and 7 weeks is a long time. That was the other thing. I would have probably put Cassie on last, so she left the most impression on the jury.
They couldn't, Renee, because Cassie was 8.5 months pregnant.
She's about to have that baby.
Right. But I get that. But then the other thing, what you could have done is taken her statement. You know, when somebody's on their deathbed or something like that, you can do that and put it on at the end, because they forgot about her. It was 7 weeks, and then they put her on at the beginning, and then and they kind of forgot about her. They didn't think about her at that point.
I don't know why they didn't interview some more of his lieutenants, like the main woman who made $600,000 a year, orchestrating all of his freak off plans and getting all of the details of his life together. They called her KK. I don't understand why she wasn't subpoenaed. You see what I'm saying? They didn't connect the dots well enough to me.
Well, maybe they would have subpoenaed her, but she would have been a hostile witness. I mean, and sometimes just because you know something about somebody, they can go up there and blow your case apart because they don't want to be there. So perhaps she was subpoenaed and they were like, she ain't gonna help us.
Understand? I mean, I was following this case tough, but look, I want to show you guys some video of his Homeland Security thing, because to me, when it's something that we probably forgot about because it happened in the summer before he got his before everything went down. And I'm going to show you this because it is so interesting to me that, okay, hold on. There it is. Homeland Security. Okay.
I was shocked. I was taken back. I was really shocked. I mean, I never even expected this to happen.
More people coming out. Who's this guy? Yeah, they're all kind of dressed alike.
Definitely shocking and hectic out here in Holmby Hills at one of Sean Diddy Combs' homes. We were first on scene as it all unfolded. We came right in the middle of the convoy of about 40 undercover law enforcement vehicles before they even put up the crime scene tape. The Department of Homeland Security making a big bust, officers say, in connection to a sex trafficking investigation. While it was all happening, investigators were also raiding his home in Miami. Homeland Security has not yet released details or named Diddy as the focus of the investigation. The 20-year-old Ryan Mendelson, he's lived nearby his whole life, and he often visits his best friend just a few doors down.
But I've seen roommate once a week, girls lingering outside. I drive by a lot, and I see that a lot of girls, maybe 5 or 6 girls outside. Some leaving, some not, some going in, black Suburbans. Never know. I never thought anything of it, but now this is crazy. I mean,
as we broke word on scene and from Skyfox, Mapleton Drive near Sunset and Beverly Glen became a madhouse. And as more Bearcats and undercover cops pulled in, so did the swarms of onlookers, even a celebrity tour bus.
We all have to keep our minds open to what's going on here.
Well, this is from Brooklyn, though. Leave Puffy alone, man. Y'all crazy.
Okay. Okay. Get you back. Okay. So what blew me away about that is that when I looked at the list of charges, did you see how many people that it looked like they were invading a small country.
Literally.
Yeah.
Now, I don't recall that kind of action when they were talking about Epstein and Weinstein. I mean, they had Bearcats. They had, 40 trucks. 40?
That was insane.
That is insane. I mean,
absolutely.
I thought they were going to charge him with murder or something, the way they carried that on.
But even a murder, they don't do all of that. Like,
yeah, that is, I mean, so I guess the thing too here again is you're black. But that was checking that out, that was wild.
Well, see, for me as a journalist, Pam, my question is, what did they believe they had prior to the invasion of the property? What is it they were thinking would show up? And was there more that they thought was present that didn't show up? Mm-hmm. So what we have is the aftermath of all of that. Mm-hmm. But I would also like to know, what information do they have that they couldn't bring to court because they didn't have enough evidence to prove their point? So we have the decision, we have what was presented before the court. Mm-hmm. But my question as a journalist would go deeper into, I want to know what they thought they had. And my suspicion is that they probably thought they had some pretty nasty stuff, and it could even be related to murder. But we don't know.
Right.
And I think it's important that we think about that.
Right.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Pam. I also think that they did this to Waco too, because I think they took this on as if he has a compound, remember he supposedly he was sex trafficking and he had this posse and enterprise. So they weren't going to take any chances because he has a sprawling estate. They did the same thing with Waco because they had heard some stuff and they were not going to go in there and have officers die. So they did the maximum. So I could see them going in there like that to him. And I don't think it was just because he was black, because Waco, they did a lot of stuff too. So I think that was the mindset going in.
So you think they were thinking there were probably some locked up women?
Maybe that, or even they don't know what people on his property, who has guns, who doesn't. Diddy supposedly had a lot of guns and stuff like that. Yeah, it looked like overkill, but then if some officers had died, then it would have been like, well, why didn't you bring in 40 trucks? You know, it would have been that spin too. You know,
you made me think with that one too, because I didn't even think about that, because that with that amount of resources, they definitely didn't even bring out all of the things that they were looking for, because most certainly you weren't just looking for sex trafficking and things like that. You were looking for something way more than just,
something different.
Absolutely. I didn't even think about it. Like I was like, why were for Diddy? Like
they weren't looking for baby
oil. You made me. I was like, when I first saw that, I'm like, take that. Like, what exactly does he have going on? You know, I mean, for domestic violence, yes, he deserves to, you know, and his freaky shows, but I had no idea why the amount of resources. So yes, Carl, absolutely. There's some things that have not been mentioned. You made me think with that one, because it really did.
And I
would really like to know.
I'm going to throw some fat in the fire. Do you think Trumpster is going to pardon him?
You know, that actually it is definitely within his. You took the words out of my mouth.
We're gonna get into that. Absolutely. Their pathologies are very similar. It is so, I mean, they're both narcissists. They both feel that they're the kings of whatever I want, I get, you know, but they are. I mean, and it's so bizarre when you think about it. You know, they're two different vibes, but yet they're not. You know, they're the same.
But the thing is that Diddy did campaign against Trump.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I don't remember that one, but yeah. Okay, that's okay.
2016 he did.
He
did.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't do it now.
Oh, look at this. Zach says the conspiracy theorists say that the whole trial came about because Diddy had stopped following orders of his white handlers. The raid on his home and all the lewd talk was solely to embarrass him and damage his reputation. I don't. Well, it depends on what the white handlers were expecting of him. What did they want? I don't know. I
don't want to take away his agency in this whole situation. I think he, I don't want to blame it on the white man.
Yeah.
I think that this, and you know, we forget who his daddy was.
Yeah, his daddy was bad.
His daddy was, you know, the friend of the American gangster. You know, so you know he was a gangster who took Diddy to gatherings with the gangsters, and he was murdered and for snitching. So you know, this is how he grew up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
you know, but I don't want to take his agency away. I don't want to say that the white man did it. He did. He did this.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what the good judge does for him as far as the court case, his what he gets sentenced to. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting indeed. So okay, so are we ready to pivot, guys? We're going to pivot to Trump's big ugly bill.
Yeah, because to tell you the honest truth, I checked out a little bit on Diddy's trial for this, because at some point I was like, there's much more important things going on in the world besides this trial. I would feel really bad for Cassie and the victims, but I had to check out on it because there's only so much you can take, and you have to take in what's important.
Yes.
For me, this took priority.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So devastating impact for Americans with lower incomes, the big ugly bill. And for those in the middle class with increased healthcare costs, people going to lose their healthcare. There's already one hospital that we know of thus far in Nebraska that has closed because they're anticipating. They're saying that the way they set this bill up is that a lot of the Medicaid cuts and what have you won't happen until 2007 after the midterms. And that's strategic so that they're
2026.
Yeah, after the midterms, after that happens, those cuts won't happen until they think they've been voted in already.
Right.
So the potential loss of Medicaid, Medicare, cuts to the food benefits. I mean, there was even on the House, not the House floor, on the Senate floor, a proposal to make SNAP benefits available for children 12 years old and younger, and they denied it. The Senate denied it. So higher energy bills because the LEAP program that happens every year,
right,
that will be phased out and what have you. So I don't know. I don't.
Well,
Trump is just sick. He's sick mentally, physically, and otherwise. And I can go on and on about that. But Carl.
Yeah, I was going to say that if I perused the 1,000 pages. This 1,000 page bill, 1,100. It's 1,100 pages, and there's a connection with virtually every part of the big ugly bill, and reversing something that Obama and Biden enforced. So there's reversing of the alternative energy solutions. Of course, the impact on Medicaid is going to be severe. There are also provisions that change the handling in the judicial system. There are pieces that reverse. Well, the $450 billion passed to build a big wall. So there's that. So virtually every piece of it is reversing a decision that was made by the Biden and Obama administration. So you get a kind of sense that this is payback. You did this, we're going to take it away from you.
Retribution.
And it's really kind of sick because the people are going to suffer are mainly going to be white, poor people.
Yeah, well, what do you all think about us? I'm talking to my sisters here, part of the 92% that voted for Kamala. And so many of us have said, well, we're going to lay back because we're tired or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that all of this stuff, no matter what happens, we're all in it together. It's going to impact us too. So are you still going to fight? I know I'm still fighting. What do you think about that, Shauna?
What's your question?
My question is, what do you think about the attitude? Okay, well, it's not my problem, people being deported or whatever. But the thing is, they're not just going to deport the Hispanic people. They're coming for anybody black and brown, I feel.
It actually is going to affect absolutely everyone. I feel like it's going to affect Caucasians as well. People being deported in this manner is going to affect everyone. And I can honestly tell you, there are a lot of white people that don't agree with this nonsense.
They don't.
And with the way that he's handling things, it is detrimental to absolutely all of us. And the people that are agreeing with this is the most demonic thing I have ever seen in my entire life. And to build what is called a alligator Alcatraz looking concentration camp thing, kidnapping people off of the street. Are we still fighting? Absolutely. Absolutely. For us to stop even talking about it, getting the word out is, to me, unfathomable. You have to keep doing something, because I know a lot of us are checking out for our mental health. I know a lot of people who say, hey, I don't even watch the news. For me, it's not an option, because almost, Pam, and I don't know the other two of you as much as I know Pam, because we've communicated a little bit, but if you miss a day, you've missed something important.
I know. Yes.
And not just something important in the way of, oh, this happened and that happened. It's something important that affects you as an individual, right? So, in the next few years, we will wake up and not be able to take care of ourselves. And that's why I wanted to start a homeless program, because I am, deathly afraid of being homeless.
Yeah.
And then you talk about having, our benefits be cut in the way that they're going to be.
Yeah.
Having our nursing, what did I hear the other day? 1 in 4 nursing homes will be closed in 2026?
What people don't understand is that
where are they gonna go?
It's tied to long-term health care, to your long-term health care as you age. It's not all, because they only push Medicare. They teach us Medicare, A, B, and C, sign up and that kind of thing. But it's Medicaid that pays for the long-term care and homes and stuff.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And I did a whole fair in Durham about aging gracefully. And
and on top of that, to stop preventative care. So they're doing it twofold. So they're stopping programs for preventative care, right? So we don't want to prevent you from getting sick. And then we're going to have programs that will stop you from being cared for once you are, especially as you're aging. And it is the scariest thing in the world to, number one, disconnect from that, and especially as a minority, we definitely need to be in the know, because a lot of minorities, especially poor minorities, are going to get the shortest end of the stick.
Right.
So you cannot disconnect from that. You need to know what's going on in your life, because you can disconnect, but you're going to wake up one day and not know what to do with your life, or where to go, or how to survive.
Carl, what were you going to say?
I had a question for Renee, because of your work as a doula. How is this bill impacting Black women in maternal health?
Oh, wow. How it's going to impact is because clients don't pay doulas, agencies do. So we get funding grants from the government. We use Medicaid insurance and stuff like that to pay for client services. So any client that I've had as a doula never paid me anything out of their pocket. It was always paid through an organization or an agency. So that's going to have a serious impact. Now, I must say that I'm in New York City, so it's a little bit different for us, because New York City has money. So they'll step in where they can, and private organizations here in New York City will step in and fill that gap for paying for some of the services or funding some of the programs. So it's a little bit different in New York City, but if I were a doula in a rural area, it would be shut down. There's no way you could do it. I mean, it just wouldn't happen. But I did want to go back to Pam. Thank you for asking me that, Carl. I did want to go back to Pam's question about what women.
1 second, Carl, mute for a second.
Okay.
I'm telling Carl to mute himself.
Oh, okay.
Do that. Okay. Already.
Okay. So I do want to go back to your first question, Pam, about Black women checking out. Black women haven't checked out. We're just fighting in a different way. We refuse to go lay our bodies down on the line any longer. We're just not going to do it. It's time for white people to pick up that mantle, because this is their doing. So they're going to need to go ahead and pick up the mantle and lay down their bodies now. Black women's bodies have always been used by this country to advance everybody else but ourselves. And so we're not doing it anymore. We're done. This is how I feel, and this is, my posse and my tribe is saying, we'll step in when we need to. If we need to go march, we'll go march later. We'll start marching when the midterms come, because we know we got to get some changes going on. But we're not going to go lay our lives down now, because that's what Trump is looking for. He's looking for Black bodies out there so that he can implement martial law all over the country. White people shouldn't want us out there. They should be like, thank you for saying. I know my white allies don't. They're like, you sit down, I got this. I'm going to the marches. I'm going to, the King's parades and this and that. You stay home, stay safe, take care of your babies. I got this. And that's what I'm hearing with all my white allies, my tribe. So, and my tribe is diverse. We have a lot of strong white women who are doing the most. They're laying down in the street. So we need to sit down and relax for a minute. And they need to carry this. This is their water to carry for now.
Carl, you can unmute. I thought it was your thing.
You're blaming me for the noise. That's how you're going to treat the brother tonight. I get blamed for the noise. I did want to add, because of the circumstances of my day, my mom was rushed to the hospital. Again, she's 89 years old. She is a recipient of pretty good insurance along with Medicare. And I grieve the provision within Kamala's platform that would have supported caregivers because of the impact on my life in managing an 89-year-old mother as a single man with a full-time job in a newspaper to run and everything else I try to do. It's taking a real toll on my life. And so when we talk about, and the reason I raise it, when we talk about bowing out for the moment because our capacity to fight is being drained. And I think there's a time when you have to do that. You have to recognize that there's too much going on and you got to do something different. And the truth of the matter is Black women have been carrying us for a long time. And by us, I mean the whole damn country. So but, we got some serious concerns on this table right now that are crippling. My mama said something at the hospital, but before I had to leave the hospital to come to my Durham office here. And what she said, I want a social worker because I'm tired of this curse word. And I'm ready to get out of here, because it's too much on you, too much on me. There's this sense of just giving up, knowing that, and my knowing that the resources aren't there for her to effectively do what she wants to do, which is get out of my house. Okay. And that's a loving thing for her to say that, because getting out of my house is not because her son doesn't love her. Getting out of my house is so that her son can have a life again. And so I'm putting it on the table because we got to humanize.
Yes.
We got to humanize these conversations. These are not just policies. These are people that are being juggled around like they don't matter.
Right.
We're being juggled. We're being policies that are impacting real people's lives. And so I just want to put that out there. And my mama's an 89-year-old Black woman. Born in 1936. It's been a good part of her life not being able to vote. We got to put that on the table too. What it meant to not be able to vote.
Right. That's right. Zach had another comment in here. He said the Republicans made the face of poverty Black and brown, let's say that, to make it easier to destroy the safety net, but they are about to learn the truth. Yes, a whole lot of people are gonna fool around and find out real quick. And I think they're already doing that. I'm confident that they are, because this bill was so unpopular, and yet Trump gets up there and says it's the most popular bill ever. He just is a perpetual lie.
He's on drugs. He's on drugs.
He's not on drugs. He's just naturally.
He's not on drugs. He's just crazy.
Yes, he is. He's on the drug called himself.
Well, did y'all, I read an interesting fact the other day about I call it the big bullshit bill. But
we can cuss.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's after 8, I
Pam
think.
just doesn't curse.
Hey, does
Well, anyway, so one of the
he
things I
does.
read was that 49% of the Medicaid voters in this past election voted for Trumpster.
Yeah.
49% of Medicaid voters voted for Trumpster. So
uneducated, foolish.
no, and we got to be real about what this election was about. It wasn't about food. It wasn't about the eggs. It was really about we want to get rid of certain people out of this country. Trump is willing to do it. That's what all this border stuff is about. It's not about illegals, obviously, quote, illegal people or drug dealers or whatever. It's about we want to take the browning of America, black and browning of America. And if they could send us back to Africa and find our heritage, I bet our asses would. Excuse me.
Give me a ticket. I'll go voluntarily.
Send me a plane ticket. Right?
Give me a plane ticket.
But have you guys, I'd like to ask the panel, have you guys heard of, there's a specific term, and maybe somebody can remind me of it. There's a specific term of people who voted for Trump, specifically based on a specific topic. Some voted for him specifically based on their belief of border control or his stance on gay marriage, or just a specific topic. And I can't remember the term. They honestly did not vote for Trump to have all of this happen. I have people in my family that voted for him for specific reasons, but not for all of the things that are happening now. Now, mind you, I tried to tell them, okay, because you
warned
them. I have a mouth. I'm a big advocate of, number one, not just being to the left, because actually I have conservative views as well. So nobody can just come to me and say, oh, you're a complete liberal. I am not a complete liberal. I'm on the side of right. Okay. So if there is a conservative view that I agree with, I'm going to agree with that. So I employed them to read Project 2025.
Yeah.
All right. So when at the end of this term, and he really started to align more with that, no matter what he said, I employed them to go in and view that. Okay. Go down the line and see what it was all about before you cast your vote. And really and truly, let's just keep it a buck, you guys. This election was not based on voting. It was not won on votes. Okay?
Yeah.
It was illegally won.
Yeah. I wanted to acknowledge and give all reverence to my colleague at Hussman, Trevi McDonald, just made a point about the one issue voters. I'm not convinced that voters are being honest about why they voted. I do believe that we're facing more. It's not really a political war anymore. It's more culture. I do believe that if Black men were being honest, Black men were really being honest.
You have it. One issue vote.
I would say that Black men voted against Kamala because she married a white man.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes, and that's
if we were being honest.
Somebody said the term is called one issue voters. I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say I don't know if I really truly believe that. I think people make up reasons why they vote the way they do because they already know what they want to do, and nobody's gonna come out and say, I'm voting for this man because he make my white privilege more white. Nobody's gonna say that. So they come up with, because the price of groceries, the price of eggs, and Black men are never going to say, I'm voting for him because he's so macho and and I don't want to vote for a woman. They're never going to say it. So they pick something else that they can latch on and say why they voted for them. All the excuses that people made of why they voted for this man. And I'm not going to say 99% or even close to 100, but a large majority he gave them so much choose from as an excuse instead of really saying what they really are voting for.
Right.
And that was the case. Men didn't vote for Kamala. Some men didn't vote for Kamala because they were just never going to vote for a woman. Period.
But I've heard men say
true.
that.
Yeah.
Those are conversations we had at the barbershops.
Because I'm going to tell you, if white Hillary Clinton couldn't get elected, I thought Kamala was going to get elected without people actually deciding that they were going to actually vote for a woman. It's a high bar to hit. I thought she could hit it because of how crazy this guy was, but
she did.
I was wrong.
I actually believe that she probably would have hit it if she had a little more time.
I think
I really do. I believe that the short time frame limited her ability to win the election.
I think what the plan was, I think Biden never intended to complete his second term. I think he thought, I can get over the hump because surely nobody's going to vote for this crazy guy. And they saw all the wonderful things and how I pulled them out of COVID. So I'm going to probably win this. They'll vote for me quicker than they'll vote for her. And then he was going to probably step down after year 1 or 2 and give it to her. And it would have been a lot easier to get our first Black female president. And then after that, for re-election, it might have been smoother if she had done a lot of stuff. That's what I really think the plan was. But that's my own little personal theory.
That's an interesting theory.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this. If Trump told his brother to let his son die because he didn't want to pay the insurance, what does he think about you? I forget what brother that is. That's true.
I never heard that one.
The one that was a pilot?
Yeah.
Who has a daughter who's anti-Trump?
Yeah.
The professor?
Dad.
Yeah. Pilot brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this man he's all about himself. And the thing is, what really ticks me off about him is that if you get everything you want, but you're still not happy, at least be damn happy.
He can't be because he's a
you got everything you want. I want to see some joy. Go celebrate something.
No, because the goal is to be the most dictator of the dictators, the best dictator of the dictators. He wants to be better than Hitler. He wants to be, as you can see, we are, slowly climbing into, being a communist country. During COVID, and we had to start working from home. For some odd reason, I got hooked on watching these YouTube videos, and once you get your algorithm going, it just started rolling through, life in Korea, life in Russia. I don't know why. YouTube. And so I don't know why that started rolling through, but it was interesting. And I'm telling you, the things that he's doing are absolutely in line in how they live in those communist countries. So he wants to be better than them. Apparently, they don't have alligator islands and things of that sort.
But at least I'll say this: Putin at least gets joy. He goes horseback riding. He has fun. He laughs a lot. You see him laughing. You see Kim Jong-un laughing. I mean.
I think once he gets all these things in place, maybe and once we are good and miserable people, then he'll be able to build a fun park that nobody enjoys, like Kim Jong-un, and have his fun wherever he can, but seriously, I think once he implements everything that he wants, and, because mind you, he's hitting us, he's got to get all this stuff out quickly, because if he implemented things in a slow pattern, we'll have time to roll it back. We'll have time to fight it all. You know what I mean? So he has to implement all of these executive orders, all of these changes extremely quickly, so that they can, get it done, right? Once they're done, then, he can go ahead and start rolling out the rest of the plan. Just like I think it was, I forget the name of the guy that comments, was Zach. Said Project 2025 is about 90% complete.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, is that he isn't making the progress he thought he would. The courts have stopped him in a lot of cases. It's only temporary until we can. This is what I think is. I think he didn't expect.
But he still has that power, though. He still has the power in the courts. They're stopping him. He's not making the progress. But if you take it, back to some of the stuff they stopped him on, They come back and they allow him to do it. And it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's like if you really look at what's happening, he really isn't getting anything. He hasn't taken anybody else out of the country yet because he can't, because the cases are still in the lower courts. The SCOTUS didn't say he can do it. They just said if he can do it, if he gives them due process, which means he's still got to go through the system to deport these people.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's getting what he actually wants. He's being stopped temporarily, which is good, but it's only a temporary stop. I don't think Trumpster thought that the courts would move as fast as they did. He thought they would take a year or so to get to his cases, but they're moving quick fast. They're doing it like 30 days and sometimes a week or two.
Some of the other items we thought he couldn't get away with, he's getting away with. We're like,
so as we process all of this, I want to keep the forefront the conversation about how he's effectively attacked the press.
Yes. Oh,
you know,
God. Please don't get me on that.
Our role is the watchdog of government.
That's right.
Okay. We bear the responsibility of keeping things in front of the people so that we keep corruption away. He has taken the funding away from National Public Radio. There has been this aggressive attack on academic freedom. There's this aggressive attack on the press in our ability to effectively communicate our opposition to the Trump administration under the assumption that we're not being unbiased, right? So as we think through these issues, keep your eyeballs on what's taking place with the press as we know it. As a member of the press and also a member of the faculty, I walk consistently on eggshell because of, well, be very mindful. I ain't scared, but I am very mindful of the importance of having a person like me in those places. And I'm also aware that there have been cases where we've been removed because we scream too loud. Even on being on this show is a risk.
Yes.
So I think it's important that we think about, as we begin thinking about what to advocate and support, what we advocate and support of, please keep your lens on the freaking press.
Yes. Yes. That's why
that's very true.
Independent spaces,
Yeah.
It's like you have to, you got to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Guys, it is that time. I have enjoyed you all.
Is there an after party?
Because we're not done.
No, we're not done. Okay.
We're not done.
Thank you.
We can always do a part 2, okay? But I have enjoyed you all so much. I thank our listeners for you guys, all you guys chiming in and stuff. Hit that like button. Please visit my YouTube channel and subscribe, please, please, please. I stream this on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube because YouTube is a beast to grow. The only problem is that when you're on all of those things, people will go to the easiest one, and it's always Facebook. So anyway, so thumbs up, guys. And
thank you for doing this.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you, ladies. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you, Pam.
You guys are so into it. I learned a lot from you guys today.
Oh, same here. Nice to meet you, Shauna.
Nice to meet you.
Good night. Good night, everybody.